Hey guys! So I was gonna make one video and I realized that I've kind of covered a lot of this before, so I'm gonna talk about something else. This is a suggestion that my boyfriend came up with, which was on balancing your social life with your practice time. And I've talked about this in many other situations, but I want to put it out there all at once. The bruise on my arm is from me dropping a box on myself at work. It's nothing to worry about. I just realized it's very noticeable. So, yeah. Um, so I have been through 6 years of music school now, and I have met every type of musician possible and every type of music student possible. And there's everything from the person who never practices and just slides by on pure talent to the person who literally lives in a practice room. Like, I know some people who have slept in practice rooms overnight. And neither of those are a good thing. They're very much skewed to one end of the spectrum, and balance is really, really important. You don't want to only ever socialize and never really work on your craft, because at some point that talent is going to run out, and at some point the people that have been working are going to start passing you by. And yes, you may have gone into school being more talented than everyone else, but the reality is in the music world that talent doesn't matter, it's hard work. And I'm sorry if that bursts anyone's bubble, but that's the truth. I'm not the most talented musician in the world, but I've gotten where I was because I've worked hard. And as have most of you guys, anyone that you see on Tumblr that is doing something in music in the real world probably wasn't super talented, wasn't a child prodigy. They were people who went to school and worked hard and followed what their teachers told them to and worked. But they also didn't live in a practice room. They didn't lock themselves away and never socialize and never have a break and never have stress relief. They found that balance. Because there are really big downsides to locking yourself in a practice room, aside from the physical things where you can get hurt, you can over practice, which can be bad mentally, it can also be bad physically. You can be spending a lot of time not doing anything, quite honestly. And there's a lot of research to show that the human brain can't focus on something for more than 4 hours in a day. There's a lot of research to say that a human brain can't focus on anything for more than about 45 minutes to an hour and a half in one period in a day. So there's a lot of research to say, besides the physical things, that you mentally can't handle locking yourself away in a practice room for 8 hours. And yes, we've all heard these professionals who are saying, oh, when I went to music school, I just practiced all the time, and I practiced for 8 hours, and that's how I got my job. That's not the norm. And it shouldn't be the norm. And, yeah. But, when you have a balance, you get better at your instrument, you can produce better performances, and you practice and you get better, and like that's the point. But it's also a chance to meet people who will be connections for the rest of your life. I have gotten many opportunities from alumni of IU and also University of Toronto that have asked me to come back and play for them, or have been like, hey, I have this project I'd love for you to work on, and all these things. Like, some of my friends from school have caused me to be able to do what I'm doing now, or at least attempting to do. And there are also people that can help support you. I live with a friend of mine from school, so if I hadn't been social in school, I would have never met her. I wouldn't have the opportunity to split the rent with someone who I liked. And that's a very minor way that she's supported me. And I hope that I've supported her. Having the chance to really get to know your peers can also lead to ensemble opportunities. There's so many ensembles that have formed at schools. The majority of the contemporary ensembles that I can think of came from groups of people that met at school and formed from there. And if they didn't, they had certain members that came from those schools, or they draw new members from that school. having that connection with the people that you went to school with can lead to jobs in the future, or create a job for yourself 10 years down the road. Or you can get lucky and find an ensemble and never look back. Like, there's so many opportunities that you can find by meeting people. And even within the 4 to 8 years that you're in school, or however long you're in school, because there's no shame in being there for longer than traditionally expected, you can get opportunities that way that you can put on your resume, which mean that you can get auditions, which means that you can get a job. When professionals and when people hiring musicians look at a resume of someone straight out of school, they're looking for things that you've done while you were there. They don't want to just see that you were in the required ensembles and finished all your required courses with good marks and then left. They want to see that you did these outside projects, that you did these festivals, which most of the time you hear about through word of mouth from your friends. They want to see all of these things that you're doing outside, because the music world is entrepreneurial. It's not just, hi, I want to audition for this orchestra and never leave anymore. And I know that a lot of you guys want an orchestra job, and that's awesome, and I want you guys to have those jobs, but you have to realize that orchestras aren't looking for amazing technical musicians only anymore. Like, they're looking for that, and you have to have an amazingly high level of playing, but on top of that, you also have to have other skills. And those other skills don't come from living in a practice room 24/7. They come from meeting people. They come from talking to people. They come from putting your stuff out to the world and seeing how it's responding, how people are responding to it, and bringing it back. There's a reason that I do all of this stuff for you guys. And the major part of it is because I really care about you guys, and I'm really passionate about teaching, and I'm really passionate about how the next generation of musicians is going to come up in the world. But it's also because it's practice for me. It's creating skills for me that I can then market myself on. I love you guys, and I don't want to make this seem like I'm just doing this for myself and for my own benefit. This is definitely for you guys. But the benefits that it has reaped for me in other situations have been enormous. And that's a really great thing for me. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to have a YouTube channel and everyone needs to broadcast their life to the world, because I know that's scary and I know that's not something everyone wants to do. But finding opportunities to create things and to figure out how the music world can be served by your skill set is really important. And you find that by interacting with people, not by living in the practice room. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't practice. I'm saying you should practice, but I'm saying you should balance it with a very healthy social life. That is my rant. I hope you guys find some help in this video, and as always, if you guys have video ideas or video requests, please let me know, and I will see you guys next week.